A woman sits in a parked car at 11:47 p.m. The engine is off. The streetlight above flickers. In her lap, a bank statement shows a balance of $34.72. Rent is due in 3 days. She is not irresponsible. She works 40 hours a week. She does not buy luxury goods. She packs her lunch. And still month after month, year after year, the numbers never quite add up. Her mother lived like this, her grandmother too. 3 generations of women who worked hard and stayed poor. The question is not whether they deserve better. The question is whether the cycle can ever be broken. Her name is Diana Meeks. She is 32 years old, a medical assistant at a clinic on the south side of the city. Every morning, she wakes at 5:30, commutes 45 minutes, and spends 8 hours on her feet helping patients who cannot afford specialists. She likes her job. She is good at it. At night, she comes home to a 1-bedroom apartment with a crack in the bathroom ceiling that the landlord promised to fix 18 months ago. She pays $1,150 in rent. The crack remains. Diana has a budget. It lives in a notebook on her kitchen counter, written in blue ink with careful handwriting. Groceries, $280. Utilities, $145. Gas, $120. Student loan payment, $187. Phone, $65. Everything accounted for. But every month, something happens. This month, it was her car. The check engine light came on Tuesday. The mechanic found a cracked coolant hose. Total cost, $460. Diana had $210 in her emergency fund. The rest went on a credit card. Next month, it will be something else. It always is. Here is what the budget does not show, the pattern. The way small emergencies compound into large debts. The way one unexpected expense leads to another because there is never enough margin to absorb the first hit. Psychologists call this tunneling. When resources feel scarce, the brain narrows its focus. You stop seeing the long term because the short term is screaming. You make decisions that solve today but hurt tomorrow because tomorrow feels abstract and today feels like survival. Diana knows she should have a larger emergency fund. She knows she should contribute to her retirement account. She knows credit card interest is eating her alive. Knowing is not the same as being able to change. The problem is not that poor people make bad decisions. Study after study shows that low-income individuals make financial decisions with the same rationality as anyone else, sometimes more, because the margin for error is smaller. The problem is that scarcity changes how the brain works. When you are constantly putting out fires, you stop building fire breaks. Diana's mother, Patricia, worked as a home health aide for 30 years. She retired with no savings, a paid-off car, and a small social security check that covers her rent and nothing else. Patricia taught Diana to work hard, to be honest, to never ask for help. She did not teach her about compound interest or investment vehicles or the difference between good debt and bad debt because she did not know those things herself. This is how poverty repeats, not through laziness. Through information gaps that span generations. Diana makes more than her mother did. Adjusted for inflation, she makes almost twice as much. But the structure of expenses has changed. Rent consumes a larger percentage. Healthcare costs more. Education costs more. The safety nets her mother's generation relied on, pensions, employer-sponsored retirement, affordable housing, have frayed or vanished. So Diana runs faster and stays in place. On Thursday evening, she sits at her kitchen table with the notebook and a cup of cold coffee. She calculates her total debt, $4,300 on credit cards, $28,000 in student loans, $1,200 still owed to the mechanic from last year's transmission repair. Minimum payments eat for $130 a month before she buys anything. She closes the notebook, puts her head in her hands. The ceiling crack stares down at her like a question she cannot answer. On Saturday, Diana drives to her mother's apartment. Patricia lives in a subsidized complex for seniors, a tidy 1-bedroom with floral curtains and framed photos of Diana as a child. They eat lunch together, tuna sandwiches, canned soup, the same meal they ate when Diana was growing up. After lunch, Diana helps her mother sort through a box of old papers, birth certificates, tax returns, a deed to a house they sold years ago. At the bottom, she finds a letter. It is from a bank. Dated 1998, her mother had applied for a small loan to start a home cleaning business. The loan was denied. Reason listed: Insufficient credit history. Diana looks at her mother. You wanted to start a business. Patricia shrugs. Long time ago. Didn't work out. Why didn't you try somewhere else? Another shrug. Didn't know where to go. Figured if they said no, everyone would say no. This is the other part of the cycle. Not just financial scarcity, but informational scarcity. When you grow up without exposure to how systems work, how credit is built, how loans are evaluated, how businesses are funded, the systems feel like closed doors. You knock once. If no one answers, you assume you are not allowed inside. Diana thinks about her own financial knowledge. She learned to budget from a high school class. She learned about credit cards from the booths that set up on campus during freshman orientation. She learned about interest rates from the fine print on her first statement. No one taught her about negotiation. No one taught her that medical bills can be contested, that credit card companies will sometimes lower rates if you ask, that banks have programs for first-time homebuyers with tiny down payments. She learned these things eventually, in fragments, from coworkers and internet articles, and the kind of luck that comes from stumbling across the right information at the right time. But luck is not a strategy. That evening, driving home, Diana passes a neighborhood she has driven past 1,000 times. New condos, a coffee shop with artisanal pastries, a gym with floor-to-ceiling windows. Young professionals walk dogs and push strollers on sidewalks that did not exist 5 years ago. Gentrification, they call it. The neighborhood is changing. Diana wonders where people like her go when neighborhoods change. She wonders if she will ever live in a place with new sidewalks and coffee shops and gyms that cost more than her monthly food budget. She wonders if her children, if she has them, will inherit her mother's apartment or her cautious relationship with risk or her habit of knocking once and walking away. At home, she opens her laptop, types into the search bar, how to get out of debt fast, millions of results. Blogs, videos, courses, books, some free, some expensive, some promising miracles, some demanding discipline she is not sure she has. She clicks a video. A man with a confident voice explains the debt snowball method. Pay smallest balances first, gain momentum, roll payments forward. She has heard this before. She tried it once. Then the car broke. She closes the laptop. The crack in the ceiling stares. Monday morning, Diana arrives at work early. Her coworker, Kaisha, is already there, sipping tea and scrolling on her phone. Kaisha is 53, has worked at the clinic for 18 years, and knows everything about everyone. Diana mentions the debt, the videos, the hopeless feeling. Kaisha puts down her phone, looks at Diana with an expression she cannot quite read. You know what my grandmother used to say? Kaisha asks. She said money loves speed. Diana waits, meaning poor people wait. They wait for the right time, the right opportunity, the right luck. Rich people move, they make mistakes, they correct, they keep moving. Speed matters more than perfection. Diana considers this. She has spent years waiting. Waiting for the car to be fixed, waiting for the credit card to be paid, waiting for some undefined moment when things would finally be different. I'm not rich, Diana says. I can't afford to make mistakes. Kaisha shakes her head. You can't afford not to. Small mistakes teach you. Big mistakes happen when you never learn from the small ones. She pulls out her own phone, opens an app, shows Diana the screen. It is a budget, but not like Diana's notebook. This one tracks forward, not backward. It projects 6 months ahead based on current spending. It flags potential shortfalls before they happen. My nephew set this up for me, Kaisha says. Took 15 minutes. Shows me things I never saw before. Diana looks at the screen. Numbers she understands, arranged in ways she has never considered. First step, Kaisha continues, is knowing where the door is. Second step is knocking until someone answers. That night, Diana does something different. Instead of searching how to get out of debt, she searches financial counseling free near me. A list appears: nonprofits, community centers, library programs. One is 3 miles away, offers free sessions every Tuesday evening. She books an appointment. The counselor is a woman named Rosa, maybe 60, with silver hair and reading glasses on a chain. She does not judge Diana's debt or her budget or her cracked ceiling. She asks questions, listens, asks more. Then she shows Diana something called a cash flow forecast. Not what Diana spent last month, but what she will spend in the next 12 months based on patterns. The forecast predicts 3 more emergencies: car repairs, medical bills, something unexpected within the year. It also shows exactly how much Diana would need to save each month to absorb those hits without debt. $87 a month. That is the number. $87 a month in a dedicated emergency account would break the cycle. Not eliminate debt overnight, but stop the compounding. Stop the cascade where one broken hose becomes $460 on a credit card, becomes $40 in monthly interest, becomes less money for groceries, becomes more stress, becomes worse decisions. Diana stares at the number, $87. She spends more than that on coffee and takeout when she is too tired to cook. Rosa explains the next steps. Contact the credit card company, ask for a hardship rate reduction. Apply for an income-driven repayment plan on the student loans. Set up automatic transfers to the emergency account. Automation removes the decision, removes the tunneling, removes the chance to talk yourself out of it. Diana leaves the counseling session with a list: 3 phone calls, 2 applications, 1 automatic transfer. It takes her 4 days to complete everything. 4 days of phone holds and form filling and the strange discomfort of asking for help. But by Friday, her credit card interest has dropped from 24% to 15%. Her student loan payment has fallen from $187 to $112. Her emergency account has an automatic transfer of $90 set for every payday. The numbers are small, the shift is not. Here is what Diana learns in the weeks that follow. Breaking the cycle does not require winning the lottery or inheriting money or discovering some secret investment strategy. It requires seeing the pattern, understanding that poverty repeats because the system is designed to punish small mistakes and reward existing advantage. But systems have leverage points, small places where a little force creates big change. For Diana, the leverage point was information. Not generic advice from internet videos, but specific knowledge about her own numbers, her own options, her own next steps. Knowledge that her mother never had. Knowledge that her grandmother never had. Knowledge that took 1 hour with a stranger who knew where the doors were. If this video felt like it was made for you, that is because it was. Money stress is universal, but the solutions do not have to be complicated. Every week, we break down the psychology behind your financial decisions and show you exactly how to keep more of what you earn. Here is how you can help this channel grow. Subscribe, tap the button below. It is free, it takes 1 second, and it tells the algorithm that content like this matters. Hit that thumbs up. It sounds small, but likes push this video to people who actually need to see it. People just like you, sitting somewhere right now, stressing about bills they should not have to stress about. Comment, tell me, would you let AI handle your bills? Why or why not? I read every single comment, and the conversations we build here become the next videos I make. Share, send this to one person, a friend, a sibling. That coworker who always talks about money, but never does anything about it. Sharing this video might be the push they need. The algorithm rewards engagement, but more than that, engaged viewers build a community. And a community of people who think differently about money. That changes everything. Subscribe now. Join the movement. And I will see you in the next video.